Hey guys, welcome back to Tip Tuesday. My name is Matthew Sturkey with Stone Mill Log and Timber Homes. Last week we talked about tips for job site access. We talked about tips for job site inspection readiness. We talked specifically about the driveway and the culverts and power lines and overhead height and headroom for our equipment. This week we're going to talk about job site readiness and tips for being job site ready. We touched a little bit last week on foundation and floor system and our desire to come to the site with a Creekside representative to make sure the foundation and subfloor and porch decks match the plans. It's really important for us to start off on the right foot. Making sure that everything is built according to the plan is one of the things that we come to measure the foundation, subfloor, and porch decks. Make sure that it all matches. But what are some of the things that we need in order to be job site ready? First is going to be temporary power. To have temporary power in place for us to be able to operate our equipment and our tools is very important. If you do not have temporary power, then we'll need you to rent some type of generator, provide fuel for it so that we can use our tools. Mud control is another one, and making sure that the site has straw spread around it or a gravel fill around it. We certainly are not asking or requesting that every homeowner have a nice gravel base around the foundation, but anything and everything that can be done to control mud, because when we're stacking logs or setting the floor system, we're going to be climbing on the structure in order to install and assemble the material. So we want to limit the amount of mud that we put onto the material. And that is done typically by controlling that in and around the foundation and around the site. So any type of gravel fill or any type of spreading straw around the site will help to control that. Another thing that we're looking for is for markings for underground utilities, for a septic tank or a drain field or a well casing. So all of those areas need to be marked. Any underground utilities, anything that we need to avoid setting our crane on top of, or the outriggers or our crane, or driving our forklift over, needs to be clearly marked with either some flags or some orange or pink spray paint, just to identify any underground utilities so that we can avoid damage to those underground utilities and to those items. The other thing is having all of your conventional lumber. At some point in the design build process, we will send you a conventional lumber list. It's bracing material for the corners, kickers for the walls, general framing that would be needed for us to erect the shell and dry it in. We'll get you a list of that material, and having that on site, having that covered up, ready for our crew to use. That material will be yours. It stays on the site. You can reuse some of that material when you start interior framing. So making sure that you have ample and sufficient material storage area for when we bring material in. I'm going to show you a picture of a site that is pretty tight. Coming off the main road, this is a site in North Carolina where you've got a little tight access, a driveway going down to the site. You can see that this homeowner was ready when we started. Subfloor was built, foundations in, porch decks are all built. And so with this site, you've got a portable restroom facility available. We need that on site. Anything, again, underground that would need to be marked, clearly marked and identified so that we don't put our crane or our forklift over the top of it and avoid any damage. And then having temporary power in place. As you can see here, this site has temp power in place for us to be ready to use our tools. So those are some of the readiness tips. There are a lot of things to consider when being ready. Our Creekside representative, when they do the job site inspection, will go through each and every one of these items for you. But these are some of the tips to help you get ready ahead of time, to help you be thinking about job site access and job site readiness. And hopefully these have been helpful. If there are any questions that you have about site readiness and job site access, feel free to reach out to us here at the office. We're happy to answer questions anytime. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks for joining us for Tip Tuesday. We look forward to you joining us next week for more Tip Tuesday. Until then, stay safe and healthy, and hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday. Take care.